Hi, fourth grade. I want to start out by saying I was so blown away with your symmetrical name monsters. I said in a couple videos ago that that's one of my favorite projects of the year that I do with students. You guys really did an awesome job. They were so cool, so creative. So awesome job with that. This week we are starting something new. The focus is about contrast and emphasis. Now, you might have heard some of those words before, but I'm just going to focus in on how it relates to art. Um, so let's take a look at um, contrast first. I'm going to go to this slide. Um, so contrast is like a fancy word for opposites. So like light versus dark, happy versus sad. So a lot of times in art, artists sometimes make their artwork show a little contrast. Um, and it could be anything really, showing anything opposite. So it could be like a smooth texture versus a bumpy texture, things like that. So in this picture here on this slide, it just shows things that are opposite. So happy, sad emoji, a big flower, small flower, black cat, white cat. And then even though these are the same thing, they're both peppers. One is red and one is green, which is opposite. And then emphasis is when there is one thing that is extra special within an artwork that really just pops out as being different. And it just like is the main focus of that artwork. So here are just like a couple examples, and you can see kind of what one thing in each of them is that one thing that's different. So like the little red little macaroni shape, this little rounded triangle shape, the upside down door shape, the blue bird, the white flower, and the big blacked out triangle. Okay. Looking at some of these are more like famous works of art. So this is a work of art from M.C. Escher, and his is showing contrast because it has that light and dark opposites within it. So like dark blacks and light whites, and the way it slowly kind of fades into a new animal. So it starts out as a bird or a goose kind of flying through the air, and then it slowly transitions to a different animal, a fish, or whatever you want to call it. But so that's how that shows contrast there. And then here are two um, same things, but this one is just printed on a wall, and this one was just in an actual frame by the artist Banksy. So it's Balloon Girl is the title of the artwork. And this is showing contrast and emphasis. Contrast because there's still that kind of black and white opposite value. And then there's that emphasis with that one red balloon kind of floating in the sky, and it kind of brings your eye there, which is that like extra special thing. Okay. So what we're going to be doing this week is we are going to be starting a project, and we are going to be creating a eye. So this is actually the wrong video. Sorry. Let me open it up. Sorry, I thought I had up the right one. Contrast emphasis. Where is it? Fourth grade. Okay. So first thing that I want you guys to do is you are going to need just it could be like a notebook that you draw it in. This is just going to be like a practice round. I'm going to attach, hopefully if I can find it saved in my files, this printout of how to draw an eye. So if you can see it on the screen, awesome. You won't really need to open that other document, and you can follow step by step what I do. But what I want you to do, excuse me, on this practice paper is just practice. And you can see I'm going to do mine a couple times, and I'm just kind of following the steps. I'm following these gray ones because I think it breaks it down the easiest. Um, and you guys can add kind of your own twist to how you do your eyes. I think I always tell you that in projects that your eyes don't need to be drawn exactly how um like there's all different types of ways to draw it. So you can kind of draw it however you specifically like. Um but so I'm just kind of practicing out, and I'm following step by step, starting with a circle, drawing kind of like the arch going over the top, connecting it back down, doing the little I think it's called like the little tear duct um, area. Um, so I'm going to start fast forwarding this, and I'm just kind of practicing, and I'm going to be drawing a bunch of different ones. You can decide kind of how long you want the eyelashes to be, because sometimes people have shorter or longer ones, depending on kind of what their genetics are. Um, and then think about like shading. You always want to leave this little white highlight within your eye. That's what makes you look alive. So that's just something important to remember. And so I keep doing it. Now I'm trying this second method, which I don't think I like as much, but you guys can just kind of play around with it. And I'm not drawing them too big. I'm just drawing them like a medium size. Uh, but again, if you guys have your own technique, definitely try it out before you start it on an actual paper. And so you can see I just kind of drew 3 different ones. Once you feel like you've practiced enough and you are ready, you are going to grab like your actual piece of paper that you're going to be doing the project on. So I'm just writing my name on the back. You guys can write your class code. Um, and so I started with a circle stencil. If you have something at home like a cup that you drink out of, or like a CD, or something round that you want to trace just to get this circle started, and that kind of sets the size for your eye, then go for it, okay? But so I was just trying to tracing it with the circle. I am then essentially with my pencil just drawing everything out. And I'm taking my time, shading things in depending on how you want yours to look, adding in some extra detail. But really the focus of this is to take your time and to go step by step. Okay? I'm going to try to fast forward this, but so that you can still see. With the eyelashes on this one, I decided to make them a little bit more thicker. So I did, excuse me, a line that went up and then kind of back down and then shaded it in a little bit. Again, that was my preference. You guys can kind of do what you want. Uh, Eyelashes on the bottom, details in the eye like the pupil. This is my highlight that I had drawn to set aside. That's the part that will stay pure white. And if you notice, I'm drawing really lightly, and that's because in the next step, we're going to be using some sort of black material. Oh, I guess, yeah, in this next step right here. So we're just kind of outlining some things. So yeah, hopefully this isn't too fast for you guys. I just don't want it to be super slow that you're sitting through me, like drawing it really, really slowly. But take your time when you're doing this. Like I said, work on it a couple like 10 minutes one day, maybe 10 minutes another day. Take your time. At the end, your eye should look something like this. Let's see, you can get it just like that. You'll notice like usually this is the part of the eye, I think it's called the iris, where like for example, I have brown eyes, some people have blue, green, you know. Um, we want to make sure that this is left empty. And the reason why is because next week we are going to kind of focus in and um, add our emphasis to this eye. So like we're going to do some bright colors within this, and I'll give you guys a little bit of freedom as to what you want to do, but we want to leave it empty for this part, okay? And so it should be looking like something like this. You could always go back and erase some of your pencil lines that are still showing. I'm probably doing that in the next step, but that is it for this week. Take your time. Send me a picture if you want. I love seeing how your art is coming out. But yeah, I will chat with you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.